3-point reach functional assessment. That is an anterior reach. I will use these as a tool and a way to assess upper extremity and trunk stability and mobility. I had to change things around just so I have enough room, so we're still using our tape measure. Still have my functional grid and mat on out. But I like to use as a reference point for all of these, either the middle or the index finger. I just want you to be really specific again with what you do so that we have consistency with the outcome that we're getting comparatively speaking. So I'll show you what I mean here. So our base hand is always our reference point. So I'll note it as the right or the left upper extremity. The free hand is going to be driving and it's going to be reaching. So similar to how we note a lunge or a single leg anterior reach with our lower extremity, the base hand is always going to be the reference point based on the midline of the body and kind of the outside of the body. So what I'll do, my middle finger is lined up right behind the measuring stick, and I'll use my middle finger to reach out as far as I can. I need to be able to reach and touch and bring my hand back without touching down in order for it to count. And then also biomechanically, you can see deviations in the trunk and etc. that can warrant, hey, you know what, that doesn't really count. We need to be able to control ourselves well. So what I'll do is I'll use the middle finger as a reference point, lined up right behind the tape right here. And then I'll say, I want you to go with a base of support that's comfortable for you. And so what we'll do, and it's a way to look at, again, stability, mobility, but in terms of our positioning and stuff like that, we can look at the transformational zones of some anterior, posterior rotation of the shoulder blade, some AB and adduction, and as well as some internal and some external rotation of the scapula, and then also little mobility and stability of the thoracic spine. So we'll go middle finger as a reference point, and I'll show you on the functional grid first, and then I might have to change positions a little bit. So what we'll do with the finger behind the line right here, I'm just shifting my weight forward and I'm touching. So that would be noted as a 3-point right upper extremity anterior reach. We have a variety of 4 or 5 other locations that we'll go to, again with the middle finger being the destination point. We have an anterior medial reach, in which, again, our body, we're using our hips to kind of reach. We also have an anterior lateral reach. We have a medial reach. And then we also are going to go after what we call a posterior medial, and then also a lateral reach. So what I'll do, and specific wise it's good, but what we'll do, we'll go across and over the top for the lateral, and then we'll go posterior medial. So with this guy as a reference point right here, to go anterior and anterior medial, we did anterior. So if I wanted to go anterior medial, my middle finger would be pointed straight ahead, and I might not have enough real estate for all my stuff here, but I'm reaching on this 45-degree angle vector to the left. And then if I wanted to, even though platform-wise it's a little bit odd, we're going to go straight medial with it. And then if I want to go posterior medial, so I'm here, my middle finger is still my reference point, reaching posterior medial, which is 135-degree angle to the left. So I'm here. You know what, I need to move this up so I can show you all. So you're here and here. So a little posterior medial. Anterior lateral. So we're here, we're still pointed forward, 45 off. And to the right. Reach and touch and back. Reach and touch and back. Remove this forward a little bit. 2 ways we can go about the lateral. We can go over top, or underneath. Biomechanically, it gives us a little bit something different in the thoracic spine. So when I'm going straight lateral with my reach, the outside of my middle finger is right up against the edge. And I'm here. So this gives me a type 2 rotation and side bend in the same direction. Otherwise, I'll go palm just above my reference point right here, and then I'll reach down and underneath. So I get this right rotation and this left side bending, and then I'll go with a posterior reach, so straight down and underneath me here. So I'll go palm of my hand right above the bottom portion of the measuring tool. Reach and touch, and come back on up. We can also have slides in which those become lunges, a reference point. So what I mean by that is we can have a hand on a towel and slide our hand, which would look like, if I had a towel, I have this mat which can still slide. So this would be like an anterior lunge. So if I had a towel under my hand, and slide and bring it on back. Now this becomes anterior lateral because it's the left moving in relation to the right, even though with the single arm reach, that's anterior medial. So they become vice versa. The same here, that becomes lateral for a slide. This becomes medial, rather than what is the opposite of that with the single leg or the single hand reach. And then a slide across the midline of the body becomes an anterior medial slide rather than an anterior lateral reach. We get a posterior lateral slide rather than posterior medial, and then we still have the posterior slide. So a great way to go after looking at scapulothoracic and shoulder stability and mobility.